Hello all, welcome again in Java City. An agenda for today's video tutorial is concurrency and a thread. Since concurrency and a thread is a very big chapter, so I have broken this whole chapter in number of parts. And here in this video tutorial, we are going to understand what is thread and how we can create number of threads and how we can assign a number of duties. So taking a scenario when a program is doing a number of tasks together, so number of threads are working together in cooperation. So thread, let me take a real world analogy. Thread is a worker and worker is doing some duty. So here also in a program, thread simply does some work, some kind of work. So in a big program, number of threads are working. Likewise, one thread is fetching data from somewhere and one thread is giving data to someone else, and in our monitor something else is happening, and they are all working in cooperation and coordination. So we have to understand how we can create number of threads and how we can assign duties to them so that they can't interference to each other and they can't interrupt to each other. There is a method interrupt by which we can interrupt or we can stop a certain thread at a scheduled time. Also there is a method join by which we can join a thread in between or with other thread. Java library has provided a runnable interface, important one, and this runnable interface has a run method which may be given a task or a duty. So by using this interface, its implementing class may be given a different kind of task which may be assigned to a thread. So number of threads works together to perform a big task, and see, this concept is quite essential and very much important for making a good program, especially threads to avoid interference. So let's go ahead and try to understand what is concurrency and a thread, and by using a combination of certain scratch of codes we will learn threads and a interface. So stay tuned with Java City and let's go ahead. Is thread. So thread is a class which have a run method which does work. We can directly instantiate thread or we can extend any class to thread class and create an object as thread. So thread object does specified work. Non-daemon thread is generally a main thread or thread that does main work in front, does work with a given priority, whereas daemon thread is a background thread. This class have various instance and static methods which can be used for required purpose. So thread is a worker which does specified work for a Java program, like in a routine life we are doing. And create thread is a class which defines or its object is a thread. In normal Java program, we have a main method, and that main method coordinates all objects and its methods and gives a desired result. So this is also a thread, and that is called main thread. And if suppose we require a number of threads or number of process from that will do a separate work in other way, or suppose we are doing or fetching a data from outside source, so rather than waiting for completing a task by main thread, and it is better to assign that work to a different thread, and that thread will complete the data fetching, and as it will complete the work it will join the main thread. So this will simply easy the work of a main thread, and it will simply save the time. It will give a good experience. So let me trying to understand by this simple flow chart. Create an instance of a thread class. So already we have understood what is class and what is object. So instance of a thread class, we simply define a thread directly or by subclass. So either we can create an instance of a thread class directly, or we can extend thread class to a subclass and we can instantiate a subclass to create a thread. Or there is an interface called runnable interface, and that runnable interface to have a
run method, and that's implementation may be done either by an anonymous class or by any class which implements, and by defining the body of the run class we can do desirable work. Here also implement run method with a desirable work. So this is a task which we are going to assign for a thread. Start the thread. After doing all the things, you have to start the thread. Without starting the thread, the work will not get executed. Remember this. Either the thread will complete the work or will interrupt in between externally and again join by thread and join methods. So there is a number of ways by which we can create a thread. So let me first instantiate a thread class and extend a thread class. After that, we will proceed ahead. This is our class concurrency, and this is the main method. And let me try to do something. So this is a simple println statement, and we are simply printing here a hello from main thread. Okay, so this is nothing but a class, and here in this main method the thread is working, and this is called main thread, and this is executing and coordinating all required objects and libraries, packages, and all tributaries of a Java JVM. So this is simply executing, and let me try to run this and try to see hello from main thread. So this is a thread class. Okay, so we are printing out here something from main thread. Now let me try to create an anonymous thread. Okay, and here we are trying to create a run method, and this should be what hello from anonymous thread. Okay, and now the thread need to start. So what we have done, we have created a anonymous object of this thread class, and inside this main method, and we have just created, and this is called anonymous, you may say, thread, and we have started this thread. So let me try to run it, and we will see what are the examples and what is the output. You can see here two threads. This is from main thread, and this is from anonymous thread. Okay, now again let me try to another from main thread println statement, and this may be hello again from main thread. Okay, so let me try to run it, and you will see three println statement we have given, one from main thread, another for anonymous thread, and you can see here hello from main thread, hello again from main thread, and hello from anonymous thread. So you can see here, observe here, first println statement has been given in a main method, and now the object of a new thread, anonymous object, have been created, and here we have given a println statement in a second, and now at last we have again given a println statement, but you can see in a output first and last one here in a line 15, the second println statement coming on a second, whereas the third here in println statement of line 11 is coming on third. So let me run it again, and you will see the order of this execution will be somehow random, maybe because when a number of threads, a JVM is dealing with number of threads. So here and again main thread is coming on forehead, whereas the anonymous thread is coming at last. So this is the complete unpredictable nature of JVM, where number of threads are working in a JVM. Some JVM schedules which one first, main thread comes first or the anonymous thread comes. It is simply unpredictable. Now again, what we want to do here, let me try to extend the thread class to other class. So inside this package, let me create a class called other thread, and let me extend this to thread class. Okay, now inside this thread we have to override the run method of a thread class. Okay, so this is a run method, and here we have to, so this is a overridden method of a thread class. So if we don't write here, it will simply go to the, it will call the run method of a super class, that is thread class, or we can define here something. Okay, and here we can write hello from other thread. Okay, so let me try to at last here in a, let me try to instantiate other thread is equal to new other thread. Here we have created an object, and now we have to start the thread. Okay, now this is a main thread, this is a println statement from main thread. Now we have here, we have instantiated a anonymous class, uh, and we have created an anonymous thread, uh, and here we have passed on the println method from anonymous thread, and we have started this one. Again we are going coming in a main thread, and this is println statement from main thread. And another way of this creating a thread by simply extending a thread class to a other thread class. This is a thread class. Okay, one thing we can do more. This is a thread color. Okay, and here we have created a static final NC escape codes, and this simply this will provide a differentiation in threads. So this need to be imported here. So let me try to field, and let me give this main thread color to, this is also from main thread. So let me try to give this again a red color, and this suppose be given as any color we can be. Here we have given a blue color, and this other thread may be given, here also we have to import this one, this is static field. Okay, so let me try to import this too after this one. Okay, so let me try to, and let me cyan. Okay, so other thread have been given a color red cyan. Okay, now we can differentiate and we can run, and you will see the output is coming in a different colors. So this will be easy to understand. Okay, now you can see here the three threads we have created, one from main thread and again from a main thread, but here this is from anonymous thread and this is for other thread. And let me try to create at top this main thread at top. After that we will see what is the output. So JVM, you can see even though we have created a other thread at top, but still the println statement from the main thread is coming at top, and after that it is coming from the other thread, and at last from the anonymous thread. So it is complete unpredictable in nature that which thread is executing when, though the scheduling is completely random. And the thread scheduling also depends upon the JVM its implicates. When you execute number of times, the order may be different. You will see, yes, you can see here. Now the other thread has become at second, and this anonymous haven't got. So various times it will see the various output because the scheduling is different. Okay, so this is completely depend on the JVM. Now what we want to do here, let me try to create a thread through Runnable. So let me first, so we can create a thread by using a task that is defined by Runnable interface. So Runnable interface defines a run method where we can define a work. Runnable is an interface which have a run method. Anonymous class or an implementing class defines the body of the method and does work. So it defines a task. Now any thread can be created by defining the task either through a Runnable interface or through a implementing class which implements Runnable interface. We will create a thread by using Runnable interface. Thread can be created by using Runnable interface too. So let's continue in this example too. So first we try to create a task, and by simply calling this Runnable interface, and here this is anonymous and we have to implement this one. So override method, and this is override method, and this is a new task which this main thread will do. And here, so here in this we can choose another color, and this is main and already we have taken, so let me take it purple. Okay, so NC black, no, this is from Runnable. Okay, and let me try to run it and try to see. Of course there will be, we have to start this one. And you can see this is from Runnable. Okay, we have just taken a anonymous object of this Runnable interface, and from this Runnable interface we have taken, and you can see the order of this. Although this is from main thread, how we can see we can, okay, and now this is, you can see, we are simply getting the name of the thread. You can see the same thing need to write over here. This is again from main thread, and this is from Runnable interface. Okay, so let me try to find out what is the name of threads which are executing various tasks. This println statement, main hello, this is main, and this is Runnable or 2 running in a main thread, and this is from hello from other thread. Okay, and this is thread 1, hello from anonymous thread. Okay, this is thread 1, this is random name has been defined, and now we can set name 2 here. As soon as we are creating this other thread, and before this one we can set name to other thread. Okay, so other thread have been defined name other thread. Now let me try to run it. You can see this is main, hello from main thread, hello from other thread have been defined, this one, main again from hello again from main thread, thread 1, this is anonymous, hello from anonymous thread, and this is main again from the by using a Runnable interface. So another way, we can also create a class which implements, so this is my Runnable. Okay, so this is a class and this will implements what? Runnable interface. So this is a, and this is showing as a prompting to implement method. Okay, run method. Okay, and now here again we have to import this thread color. So all colors we have used, blue, okay, green is remaining. So let me try to use in this. Okay, and this import, and now this is a task. We have created a different task. This is from my Runnable. Okay, now in this, let me try to create a new thread, and we define a new task, new my Runnable. Okay, and now this need to start. So this is also a new thread, and here let me pass this thread my Runnable. Okay, and now this is a thread. Let me differentiate the name, and the name should be Runnable class thread. And now Runnable class thread need to start. So we have created a number of ways, number of threads. This is from my Runnable, and now let me try to, this should give the output in green. And now various threads we have created in various ways, and you can see the output scheduled by a JVM in a very random way. You can see this again, two printouts, although you can see this is this line number 11 simply is printing from the main thread and hello from main thread, and this is line number 19, hello from main thread again. So these are two coming in a very this way. You can see continuously they are coming. In between we have already created a thread, but JVM is scheduling the this is main and this is Runnable again is coming from a main thread, and now this other thread is placed at number 4, and now anonymous thread is placed at number 5, and this is a class, this is a task implemented by a Runnable. The separate class we have created a task, and now we have created a thread, and let me give the name of this thread, Runnable dot set name, and you can see here Runnable class thread, and now we have to add this one too in a run method of this implementing class. So here is our my Runnable class which implements a Runnable, and so here we have to write this way. Now this will take the name of this one, and now again we are taking the print. Okay, and let us try to find out. You can see now this is main thread, and hello from main thread, hello again from main thread, and now the anonymous thread has been placed at 3rd number, other thread is 4th. This is again from main, and Runnable interface this is directly calling from a main thread, and this is a Runnable class thread. Okay, the name we have given, and this is from my, you can see here what the name we have given, Runnable class thread, this. Okay, this is the name we have given, and here you can see the output is coming from all 5 threads. This is one main thread, this is giving the printout 3 number of printout, and this is anonymous thread, and this is separate thread implement class which have extended or subclass of a thread class, and this is a implementing class of a Runnable class and defines task, and we have created a thread, Runnable class thread, and this has been so by this number of ways we have created a thread. And now you can see you are running when we are running the program, the sequence of the output is always different. You can see now this is now at number 2. So JVM schedules the thread output in a random way. We can't predict. Now we will try to understand what is the implication of this thread calling and how the sequence of this thread can be managed. So let's go ahead and try to understand what is interrupt, how we can interrupt this class, and how we can rejoin this thread in between another thread. And join, any thread can be interrupted and joined to other thread by the method interrupt. So this method, what it will do, this will simply interrupt the current thread and will throw an exception, because we have stopped the execution of this thread, and simply this will throw an exception that will be cached catch block, try catch block. And there is another method which is join, and this will interrupt the current thread and join other thread, whatever thread we have in which we have called this method join. So current thread will be interrupt, and it will call the calling thread which is calling the join method, and that join the method that thread will start its execution till it completes the work. And as soon as this calling thread will complete its execution, then now the current thread will resume its operation. So the current thread will wait for the time till other thread completes the work. After, the current thread will resume its work. So this is what we have to do. We have to let this method here, this in this other thread, we have created a thread by using extending this thread class other thread, and here in this run method, let we thread dot sleep, and he sleep here in the parameter passed in terms of milliseconds. So let we sleep this 3000, it means 3 seconds. So it should be given in a surrounded with a try catch block. Okay, and here we have to pass this one exception, what it is prompting, and here you can see thread has woke. Completed sleep for 3 seconds. Okay, you can see the thread is so before you can see what we have to do here. Yes, so in this other thread we have first writing a statement for printing out this one hello from other thread, and now going to sleep. Okay, going to sleep. Now the thread is going to sleep, and after passing a 3 second, it will simply that the thread has completed its sleep. Okay, let me try to run it. Yes, thread has completed sleep for 3 seconds. Okay, so other thread has been given the color this cyan, and first before going to sleep it is giving the print out of this one, and as soon as until then all the threads are completed its work, and it will completed as soon as 3 seconds have been passed out, and this thread will give the print out that this thread has completed the sleep. Now let's try to understand what is interrupt. So here in this example we have already created a taken other thread, and that is extending to thread, and we have from the main class we have started this, and this thread is sleeping for a 3 second. So let me try to interrupt its sleep. So once it will interrupt, it will not sleep for a 3 second, and immediately it will switch to interrupted exception. This is thread has been interrupted. Okay, so let me try to interrupt this, and this other thread dot interrupt. So by this method other thread has will be interrupted, and it will not complete its sleep for a 3 second, and immediately it will be interrupted. So you can see this one. You will see it will go to sleep. This is a Shan. This color you will see, and you will see hello from other thread going to sleep, and immediately just the thread has been interrupted, and you can see. And how we will differentiate? Okay, let me comment it out this one, and now see the difference. It will wait for a 3 second. Okay, and after that it will give the result that it is woken up from the sleep. Okay, you can see now. You see, wait for a 3 second. Okay, the thread has completed sleep for 3 second, and now suppose we call this interrupt method. So by doing so, it will interrupt its sleep and immediately throw a interrupted exception. Okay, you can see the thread has been interrupted. Okay, now rest of the things is doing as it is. Now doing so, we have to return the as soon as this will complete the work, we need to start a return from this interrupted exception. Okay, so let me run this, and it will interrupt. Okay, now you can see the sequence is in random order. It is going to sleep, and it is interrupted. So this is interrupt. Now we have to see what is join. So join, first delete this method, and in this new thread here we have to anonymous thread, and after that let me try cache block. Okay, and here we can see other thread dot join. Okay, and now as soon as it will simply, this is add a cache block, and here we have to interrupted exception, because and in this what we can do, this one. Okay, so first the same color, NC blue. Okay, and what it will say, other thread will immediately interrupt this current thread, and it will join the thread. And what other thread is doing, it is simply sleeping, and once it will complete the sleep, after that this the thread will start execution. So other thread has interrupted and joined. So you can see in this runnable task, new runnable, and here in this is from runnable. Okay, and this will be NC purple. So here in this runnable override method, run method, we have joined other thread, and that is that should give. Let me try to write after this one. Okay. Okay. Yes. Let me try to write this at last. Okay. Now you will see in a better way. All threads will complete its work, and other thread will sleep, and after that main thread will come into picture. So here in this, okay, you can see, and 3 seconds will be completed. Okay, the thread has completed sleep, and once it is completed, the main thread, this is from Runnable. So what is happening by this joining method? This Runnable interface run method is starting its execution, and other thread is now joining. So it means it will start the current thread, or this main Runnable will be interrupted, and this other thread will join. So it will simply start its execution in other thread. What is happening here? It is going to sleep, and once it for 3 seconds, and it will complete its sleep for 3 seconds, and as soon as it will complete the 3 second, now again the execution will start, or this thread will complete its work. So this is from Runnable. Okay, this will come into, let me again run it. So I hope, okay, you can see this one and sleeping, and now the other thread has been completed its sleep, for 3 seconds. Now main is from Runnable. So interrupt and join both have been clearly visible. It's working clearly. We can distinguish the working. So once it is interrupted, and after interruption it will join, or the other thread will start its work, and once it's completed you will resume the current thread work. So after this, let me try to understand thread variable. So already this video have been taken a long time. So I think the next chapter should be taken in other video. Wait for next video, and till then stay tuned with Java City, and bye for now.